Hello and welcome to the channel, Gav Axeman Spins. A special coming out of tag retirement video for my friend over in the States, Pat at A Little Beatles Corner, who's doing the 2025 Beatles tag. Wasn't going to bother doing any more tags in Jan, but as it's Pat, I thought I'd make an exception. There's one more I might do as well that's a good one that's come out, but Pat's doing the Beatles one. Pat's a first generation Beatles fan from the States. I've learned quite a bit from Pat's channel, particularly around capital labels and stuff like that. I was introduced to Pat by my old mucker Beatle Dave from Derby. So hi Dave. So that's how I got to know Pat's channel. I think both my channel and Pat's got a bit of a boost via Dave, who gave us a bit of a twist and shout out. So thanks to Dave. But that put me in touch with Pat. And I will give Pat a fair credit. My channel zips about, does all kinds of things. We just done a big video on the Manic Street Preachers, the Arctic Monkeys are going on at the moment. And I'm even covering the music that takes place in Stephen King books at the moment. But Pat gainfully watches my videos and gets to hear all about bands she has no idea about. So thanks, Pat. Which is why I'm doing this video, but hopefully she's manfully making her way through the Manic Street Preachers back catalogue as we speak. Couple of shout outs. I've mentioned Beatles Dave, but he's a big supporter of this channel. I have to say, in Beatles YouTube land, I do watch quite a few. I go in waves with the Beatles, I don't know what generation I would be. Would I be a fourth generation, late 80s? I think so. Let me know in the comments if you can clarify that. But I watched all the YouTube channels on the Beatles with the reissue campaigns. That's probably what inspired me to do my own channel. So although I'm not a Beatles channel, I have a little place in my heart for all those Beatle YouTubers. Mentioned Beatles Day, but I've got to do a shout out to Beatles Tone, who did a great live stream after the Paul McCartney concerts at the end of the month in December. And I'm not a massive fan of live streams, but that one was great. They were really enthusiastic about the gig, and they were telling us about Ringo turning up, and it was a pleasure to watch, which I don't say very often about live streams. Got a shout out to Andrew Dixon. I'm wearing this t-shirt as a tribute to Andrew. Andrew's got a great channel, and he doesn't always just cover the Beatles, but primarily Beatles. But I've watched that grow over the years. And he put me in touch with places like Strawberry Fields Exhibition and their wonderful gift shop, which more later. And over the water, I've got to say hello to Matthew Street, who I like Matt's videos because he's a little bit irreverent of the Fabs, because they can be enshrined in kind of golden halos, and Matt's not afraid to take the mick a little bit, particularly at some of the more ludicrously expensive and overpriced silly box sets that we've had at times. So well done to all of those channels. So as I said, fourth generation Beatles fan, came in really in the CD era. Probably wasn't a massive amount of Beatles in my family growing up. I think my mum got Band on the Run. There might have been a copy of Rubber Soul lying around, but it wasn't really a big Beatles household. It was more Elton John, Santana, ABBA, that type of stuff. But I kind of, my interest in the Beatles kind of grew, you know, bits and bobs, but really took off really in the late 80s when I finally got a CD player, and then through the early 90s checked out all those 60s bands, you know, the Stones, the Beatles, Bob Dylan, Jimi Hendrix, that type of stuff. And it's really weird now because that's the kind of thing I was doing. But when I was younger, if you'd have said in the 1980s you liked the Beatles, you'd have been kind of laughed at the playground, wouldn't you? I mean, everyone's into Duran Duran and Wham and you know, or Iron Maiden and that type of stuff. You know, I had a mate who confessed to his love of Cliff Richard and the Shadows in the school playground, and he was absolutely laughed out of town. And his nickname forevermore was, wait for it, Wank Marvin, which always made me laugh. But there you go. So that is true. I wonder if he knew. Anyhow, so yeah, Beatles tag. Let's have a look at some Beatles stuff. Questions from Pat. So you got to set the tag and just got to do some answers and show some records, I think, and some books and all kinds of things. So, your favourite Beatles Christmas song? Oh, it's dead easy, isn't it? It's got to be John. War is Over, Happy Xmas. Even can put up with Yoko's lovely singing on it. that was the first Beatles related album I ever bought with my own money, and sadly obviously that was bought for fairly tragic reasons, but number one festive song would have to be John's Happy Xmas War Is Over. Favourite cover of a Beatles album, only one for me. That's a UK mono, but with flipbacks. But yeah, that's a great cover. I've got a big poster of that that's framed up in my other music room. So yeah, so love that album cover. Show your favourite coloured vinyl or picture disc of the Beatles. Now, I hate picture discs, so I'm not showing any of them things. Sound rubbish, don't they? But I do like a bit of coloured vinyl. So it's a white album on Capital Purple label. So Pat will understand what that means, but can't go wrong with that. Right, 45s. I've got to show my favourite 45 sleeve. So slightly cheap because this is a 10-inch, but I really like, and although a lot of people hated this, the Now and Then sleeve, and I liked it once I twigged that the 3 lines were the balcony from the Red and Blue albums, and then obviously that's supposed to personify the loss of the band as such. I thought it was a bit of art there for us. I quite enjoyed that one. Takes me very neatly on to the next question: is rank the 3 new Beatles singles that you got from the 2 in the 90s and then this one. So I'm going to be slightly on the fence here. So Free as a Bird, had the best video, fantastic video that, isn't it? Real Love, I think, is the best song, but it's let down a little bit by the production, and the vocal of John on it isn't great, which by the time we get to Now and Then and the software kind of stuff that came out, when I first heard that trailer for that song and they just got the isolated John vocal, crikey Riley, that put a hair down the back of the neck. So all 3 are good for all different reasons. Right, show an unusual Beatles record. So I've got all the UKs. I haven't got many foreign things, so I've got UK monos and stereos, but I've got a German Beatles Greatest Hits. That's quite good actually, the track listing, I'll show it you there. Kind of goes to the early years. I think Ticket to Ride is the newest song on it at the time, but yeah, good little thing on the Odeon label, so bit of fun. Single B-side, your favourite Beatles single B-side. So I have a soft spot for and I think you're supposed to say it's better than the A-side, but I have to say out of these 2 I would listen to Baby You're a Rich Man every day of the week over All You Need Is Love. Not that there's anything wrong with All You Need Is Love, but it's only got a couple of verses and then it's just a chorus, whereas Baby You're a Rich Man has a fantastic production, and I love the bass line on that. So that will be my favourite Beatles B-side. Show your favourite Beatles cover. Now, there's been loads of Beatles covers, but I'm going to show one that's incredibly important. Now, in 1992, 1993, me and all my mates, we listened to new music. That's all it is. I was a slight anomaly that not only listened to new music, I did investigate the back catalogue of the greats as such. But, you know, it was all new music, all every day of the week. And no one would have gone out and bought a Beatles best of or anything like that, of my kind of 20-something kind of friends, until in 1994, this lot unleashed cigarettes and alcohol on the world, and tucked away on the B-side was the live version of I Am the Walrus, which goes on for about 8 minutes. It also was the song that they closed all their concerts with at this time. And I can tell you now that following the release of that, a load of my mates went out and bought the CD Red and Blue albums based purely on that. So I know Beatles fans may not like to think this, but I honestly don't think if Oasis hadn't come through and spent 2 years talking about nothing but the Beatles in 94 and 95, I'm not sure the anthology projects would have been given the push and the boost that they got. So I think that Oasis cover is phenomenally important in the Beatles kind of resurgence in the 90s when interest came back up to them. So controversial, eh? But yeah, that's my thoughts. It's only my opinion. Right, your favourite Fabs cover. I'm going to pick one that's slightly unusual because I think this one that I'm gutted that they never did a proper studio version. So Tucked Away on the Beatles at the BBC is one of the songs that they played live all the time in the 60s. And it's Some Other Guy, one of the great things. I think the Searchers might have done a version, but the Fabs never went into the studio and did a version. So some of the guy from BBC Sessions, but I really wish they'd have done a rocking studio version of that. Question 10. Oh, here's a good one. The worst Beatles song. So my worst Beatles song, I'm going to nominate 3 times because it's that bad. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why it's my least favourite Beatles song. So the final Beatles single, Let It Be. If you're doing an A and B sides compilation of the Beatles up to Let It Be, which is the perfect ending, isn't it? What would close that compilation? The horror that is You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. A comedy kind of thing that if it had turned up as an unreleased track and anthology, it would have been fine. But the final Beatles single, one of the great B-side bands, and that's how they go on, a comedy song. Their comedy records never age well. You listen to them once, that's it, isn't it, really? My second reason for being annoyed with it is when you look at the Let It Be sessions, how much material was knocking around. Why not give us one of those great things? When the Get Back movie was on, there's loads of stuff on that they didn't even make the box set. What's that instrumental, the Palace of the Bird and whatever? Why didn't we get that? So I'm afraid You Know My Name, Look Up My Number gets ranked the worst song 3 times over. So sorry, nothing else comes close for me in the canners as being rubbish, and it also completely spoils Past Masters because that's a song that finishes the album. So don't think much of that one. Right, the latest Beatles purchase. So I've worn my Strawberry Fields t-shirt because it's one, I've been there, it's a great visitor centre, but I've also got a great gift shop. So if you can't, just nip over from the States to Strawberry Fields, you can get some of the stuff done. What they do, and Andrew Dixon put me onto this, is they do have quite a lot of signed editions. So this book came out just before Christmas. I haven't seen this one get a lot of mentions on the Beatles channel. So it's a great author called Patrick Humphreys, who did a great biography of Nick Drake last year as well, called With the Beatles, and it's a full career overview right through to the reissues and stuff like that. And I almost ordered one off a certain well-known retailer, but I wonder if Strawberry Fields have got an edition. And sure enough, if you go and order it through Strawberry Fields, you've got a nice signed imprint there. I can make that out. So that's my latest Beatles purchase. Actually, my wife bought me that for Christmas, but I got it from the Strawberry Fields gift shop. So and I got a great online thing, and if you can get to the visitor, it's great. It's really good cause as well. It's a charitable foundation. Really good food. So that's a good one. A series that you might consider continuing and buying up. As I say, I'm quite happy with my Beatles collection. I did pick up the blue vinyl of Meet the Beatles from the US monos. I might pick up the others. I just thought the prices for 60-year-old albums with 12 tracks and 20-minute running times to charge younger people who might be trying to get into the Fabs 40 quid for old stuff that's been rehashed 1,000 times. Now, if the Beatles really want to capture the younger generation, why didn't they belt them all out at 20 quid and try and recreate that excitement of the 60s all over again? But they're just making stuff for people with deep pockets at the moment. So, and that's a little bit of my dissatisfaction at times with the Beatles, because I place them above all others. They're the band that I measure all others by. But sometimes they get it wrong on these reissue campaigns, and I think the Red and Blue album reissues were botched. I don't think this US albums series has, although it sounds fabulous, the cost point is there, and I think they messed up 1 or 2 of the anniversary box sets, but still love them. But there you go. That would be one, if I see them at the right price, and for me 20 odd quid is about the right price for those kind of albums. If I can't find the reissues for that, I'll try and find some cheaper originals. Doesn't have to be a 60s person. I'm happy with the 70s because we've got the music several times over. Show a prized Beatles possession. So this is an unusual one. So there's a little framed card there. Now that's actually my mum's, and that was from a cereal box in the 60s. So it is an original John. Don't know which cereal it was. That's been long forgotten, but that was tucked away somewhere, and I stuck it in a frame. So there you go. a bit of John memorabilia from 1960 something. Show your favourite thing from 2024, your favourite Beatles product. Now, I'm going to show one because what this did, and this is the power of the Beatles, it shone a spotlight on something called National Album Day. So I'm going to go with the Hard Day's Night white vinyl. And I was amazed when I was watching some of the Beatles channels going, oh, what's this National Album Day stuff? Now, National Album Day in the UK is really popular. I'll show it because it is a nice, beautiful piece of thing. But it was a great way that the Fabs could show and join in, and Parlophone in particular, these themes. So this year it was groups, I think. They've done female singers, they've done debut albums, rock album. You know, every year they do something slightly different, and I almost quite prefer National Album Day to Record Store Day because you haven't got to queue up at the crack of dawn. They are available online. They tend to be more easily available, and they do the odd little gem. So as well as the white album there, so the white album, a white Hard Day's Night, they also did great things like the 60th anniversary of the first Animals album on lovely yellow, clear yellow vinyl. So National Album Day I thought was really good, and I thought one thing the power of the Beatles brought to it certainly gave it a boost in it. So therefore that Hard Day's Night white album would, keep calling it the white album, white vinyl Hard Day's Night would be my favourite thing of 2024. And finally, good job because I'm getting a bit confused in it. Finally, the thing you were most looking forward for in 2025. I know it's boring, but I'm going to have to say, if they get it right, the Rubber Soul box set, if it comes out, that would be something that I would really be interested in, mainly because I love the sessions discs. That's my kind of all of the things I've listened to the most. Forget the remixes, it's been the session discs that I've enjoyed the most. So thanks for watching. There you go. Good luck to Pat with the tag. Gav Axman Spins a channel. If you are already liking, subscribing and all that, thank you. If you've made it to this point in the video and you haven't done any of that, please come across. All support is more than welcome. Have a good one, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one.